This is Kinch, and I'm going to show you my Hexproof deck, although uh, calling it my deck is probably a bit much. I pulled this list from somewhere. I really wish I could remember whose list this is. I haven't changed it because I haven't played enough to mess with it right now. Um, but it is a Pauper deck. It is based around the Hexproof keyword, which means that your opponent cannot target your creature. For example, this slippery boggle that you see, or bogle, I guess bogle, uh, cannot be targeted by um, spells or abilities by your opponent. So the idea behind the deck is to roll out a hexproof creature and throw a bunch of um, enchantments on it and bash face. Um, and it's surprisingly, it works a lot. So uh, it's basically a green-white deck. The white is simply for the Armadillo Cloak here and the Ethereal Armor. Armadillo Cloak is a wreck. 2/2 trample, life gain, pretty good. Ethereal Armor, enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and has first strike. You have a bunch of you have Rancor, which returns to your hand. It's a +2/+0. It's once it gets on the battlefield, it's just can't get rid of it because it'll go right back into your hand if the creature dies. And Ancestral Mask, which gives 2/2 for +2/+2, I should say. 2/2 is a poker site. +2/+2 for each other enchantment on the battlefield, which ends up being a lot because you play a lot of enchantments. To help with all those enchantments, you have also things like Abundant Growth to throw on the land, Utopia Sprawl, Lush Growth, and then your creature base is basically the Slippery Bogle. Silhana Ledgewalker, she's also a 1/1, but the deal is that she can't be blocked by creatures with flying. Can't be blocked except by creatures with flying. So she's got some evasion, and that I don't know. I don't find that particularly useful, except if you get like into a mirror match, and then it gets to be your opponent. See, like this deck doesn't have any flyers, so you can't block. I can't block a Silhana Ledgewalker, so it's a bit strange, but it's a hexproof. It's fine. And also you have a glaive cover, 4 glaive cover scouts, and you have one other creature is not hexproof, but it's a Aura Gnarlid, which gets really big. It gets +1/+1 for each aura on the battlefield, and it can't be blocked unless by something that has greater power, or equal or greater power than the Gnarlid itself. So it can be a bit nasty, but in practice in this deck, it's hard to play sometimes because it can be targeted. So it can be a little vulnerable. So you can't really play that really quickly. Sometimes you can, but I haven't. I mean, when it does get down, it's a good card. But it's I don't know. It's given me a little bit of issues. And then on the sideboard, the sideboard was the person who made the deck. The standard bearers are for the mirror matchups, because then if you put a standard bearer down, your opponent can't put those creature enchants on his own creatures. He'd have to put it on your standard bearer. So until he gets his own standard bearer, then you get an advantage. I haven't played a mirror yet, but that's the idea behind the standard bearer. Spore Frog is a combat prevention. I'm not sold on this card because Moment's Peace is really freaking good for that. Uh, this is a card that if you're an aggressive deck, you really have to be grinding your teeth about, because one Moment's Peace gives you 2 turns of not being bashed. So it's a little crazy. Um, and the Benevolent Unicorn is, if you're playing a red deck with like Electrickery, the Benevolent Unicorn can save your smaller creatures by being out there, and it becomes a target. So it can be a pretty good card. So I hear. I've never actually been able to play one in that kind of situation. Um, so that's basically how the deck works, and you can actually, pretty much do everything you need to do with 3 or even 2 lands in play. Um, Sometimes even 1, but it just depends. It's kind of a fun deck to play. I think it's not all that interactive. You just kind of figure out what you can get away with. Um, I kind of like it. I don't know if it's the greatest thing to play in the meta, but maybe. Who knows? Um, but I'll also post some matches with it to show you how it works. But Hexproof, um, right now I'm looking at to adjust the sideboard. I don't think the Spore Frog is all that. Um, and I'm not, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Moment's Peace, I think, is staying in there for sure. I just think it's a really good card. And as far as the main deck, I don't, the only thing that I might want to go changing in this is some of the land enchantments. These all seem to work really well with the deck, but I don't know. Abundant Growth is really good at hiding from me when I really need it, because it's card draw. But other than that, I don't know. So that's the deck. I'll post some videos of it in action.